Hey, it's Mason from PulseWave. In this video, I want to break down how I caught a 500% move on Bitcoin using PulseWave. Let's jump into it. Let me show you the proof here. This is inside of our Discord, and you can see that this is a 500% Bitcoin trade, 504%. I got it at 94,273. I closed out right above 99K, and you can see here someone else caught it, but a little bit later as well in our Discord. And then this is my SUI trade, 417%. But let's dive into Bitcoin right here. This is PulseWave. This is my favorite indicator. This is what I personally use to trade every single day. Everyone who's tried it has loved it. All the feedback has been amazing, and it is just a killer. It is a sniper when it comes to finding levels in trading. Let's just break down this Bitcoin trade and how I was able to find it and how I was able to trust the levels that PulseWave had already laid out previously. And then I'll break down how the indicator works and everything like that. But this is the trade that I took. You could see it right here. It played out very, very well. I waited for confirmation. I could have entered down here at this PulseWave level. The green level, these are essentially the supports. These are where you want to place bids and really look for entries. And then we have the resistances. And if we break past a strong resistance, there's usually going to be some major upside movement, right? And what's really, really cool about PulseWave is 9 out of 10 times, these levels that you're seeing here, these are going to have some sort of reaction whenever the price actually gets to these levels. 9 out of 10 times, sometimes you'll just blast right through it, but previously we've had reaction at these levels, right? And then this whatever, like sixth time or something, or eighth time that we tapped this level, we just ended up blasting right through it. But there was some news this afternoon. However, this is the trade I was looking for. I was planning this out in the Discord. I was literally saying all this stuff. If we go into the crypto chat, I was saying my ideas. I'll be looking to exit above 99K personally. This was this morning before the FOMC meeting, and this was my trade. This is what I've been telling people, and this is what my plan has been, thanks to PulseWave. Even in the Discord, you could take a look at someone else who's doing a forex trade. This is his first trade he took with PulseWave, and it ended up working out really, really well. We could go look at CHF JPY, and we could take a look at it, and we could see his rough entry point. You could see that he entered here like 73.2, entered like right here at this PulseWave level, right around this area, and I think he took profit up here at 75. Yep. So he got right up here. I think he took profit. I'm not sure on his exchange, but yeah, right below 75. So yep, that looks like he took it, which is great. I think he was looking at it on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Those are the time frames that he was looking at it on. And on the 1 hour, at least, it came right up to his level, and he had it right below it. So he got that trade perfectly. Like PulseWave perfectly did that trade for him on his very first one. Right. So far going well in my first trade with PulseWave. Insane to see. And I love seeing this. And this makes me so happy personally because I've built this indicator to be a really simple and easy indicator to use. It is really just what I personally use to trade for everything. And I love it. It is the best indicator on the market, in my opinion. I've set it up so it's not supposed to be expensive. There's no recurring subscription or anything like that. I just want people to use it, be successful, and make money. And I just want to build this community out. Right. So it's like join the Discord, chat in there, post wins, post losses, hop in the chats, right? We have different chats here for crypto, futures, stocks. I'm trying to build it out. We're gonna have bots and everything, so get in while it's early, in my opinion. But this is the best indicator. We can take a look at some of the settings here. This is the V2 version, and you could customize it to whatever you want at the end of the day. It is really, really, really cool. Like if you want to do scalps, right, you can customize it. There's a lot more levels, and say you're getting overwhelmed by those levels, you could change the max levels per side. Everything is really, really customizable. And the way these levels work essentially is these are historical levels. So you could see the stronger ones and you could see the weaker ones, right? You could see a thin line, you could see a strong line. And these levels are back tested levels that allow you to see where there's going to be some sort of reaction to the price. And this is really all you're looking for. And what I like to do is find confluence on different time frames. So I'm looking here on the 4 hour, right? And this was my target the whole time for Bitcoin. I was looking in the 4 hour for most of my trades, but it's really nice to see confluence on the 12 hour, right? 12 hour was amazing. This is really what made me want to enter because I saw that we held the 12 hour down here, and that showed me, okay, we have a ton of strength. We are holding this really strong 12 hour support that PulseWave is laying out. I feel confident entering, and that's when I sized in, right? We could look at my trade here again, go back to the wins losses, and you could see that my main entry was 94,273. I have it laid out here, but it's 275. and I entered a little bit lower originally, but then I felt confident enough to size in, right? We had this nice little pullback, and I just sized in a bit more. You know, my original entry was a bit down here, but I decided to size in on this pullback up here, and that's where I ended up averaging out, you know, and that's what's nice about PulseWave. You could just get confidence for the trades, and that's really how I personally use it. I use it to get a lot more confidence. I use it to hunt for entries, hunt for exits, right? And I really just plan everything out a lot better. You know, it gives me that conviction, and it gives me some sort of trade plan instead of just entering and market filling a trade and being like, okay, I hope this goes to this price that I have laid out because this is like a level that I drew. You know, PulseWave lays it out for you. All these levels will be automatically laid out, and we could just do a back test example. Let's go look at like the 15-minute, and let me just get rid of my trade here. Make sure we're in the right mode. These are the default settings that I like to use, the swing mode. And another cool thing that I haven't even mentioned that we could just touch on really quick is these extra confirmations, right? So we have the levels, which are really strong levels that already give you enough confirmation, but then we have these little confirmations that we could add. So this one, for example, is a volume spike. So it shows the volume spikes, very accurate. You know, if you go back and look at it historically, there's always volume spikes. The blue ones to the downside. We have these RSI divergences. So you see these arrows, when these appear, that means there's an RSI divergence. So that could give me extra confirmation right here, right? And this is kind of where I entered originally, I believe. Yep, this is kind of where I entered up in this area, right? So we had this RSI divergence happening. We had that on the 4-hour too, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, we did. So we had it on the 4-hour right here, right? So we had this volume spike. We had the RSI divergence. You could add other things as well. So you could add engulfing patterns, MACD crosses, EMA crosses, and all this stuff is customizable to your trading style. You could customize all the settings and inputs down here. You could see inside the Discord in the forex area, he's using a different setup than I have, but it works for him, right? And that's what's amazing, you know. And everyone has different charts, everyone has different preferences. That's the thing about trading. Everyone has a different style, and not everyone should be copying each other, right? But you should develop your own trading style, and you should have just some sort of bias that you create for yourself. And I feel like this really helps you do that. It gives you that confidence. It really just gives you that conviction when you're taking trades. And this is all that you need at the end of the day to be successful, right? If you have confidence, conviction, you can actually plan entries and exits, excuse me, and have the confidence to just stick in those trades. You will be successful, and this is what PulseWave really helps you do. But enough of me rambling. Let's take a look at a back test really quick. Let's go back to the 15-minute just so we could look at some lower time frame stuff, just so you could see how that kind of operates and works with these levels. Because right now this is a sporadic sort of area, so it's going to make the levels a lot more sporadically, but we're also on a 15-minute time frame. So I'll show you guys what it looks like on different time frames. Let's jump into it, and we'll just see how it reacts to the levels. You know, that's really what we're looking for. Let me slow it down too, just so it's a bit slower. We'll do 5. So you can see it's holding this. It dipped down a little bit more. New one formed down here with the wick because the volume spike. And this is a stronger level. So the way the levels work basically is we are making the lines thicker based off the number of retests. So inside of the settings, you can see that minimum touches for strong level, right? We could change this. So we can make the levels much stronger if we want to. If we want to eliminate a lot of the BS, we could make super strong levels where the minimum touches for a strong level is like 20, you know, but it starts with 3. In scalping mode, by default, it is weighted less. So you'll get a lot more levels, but I personally, the way I like to use it and the way I found the successful Bitcoin trade is trading on the 4-hour. You know, I like to trade on the 4-hour in the swing mode. I find that works really, really well. I think I did something to the settings though. Let me see. Nope, I think we're good. I feel like what happened to my levels? Something got messed up. Oh, we're in backtest mode. Duh. I'm all like, where's the 99 level? But we're back in time. Oh man, been a long day, guys. But let's just backtest it some more so you can see how it actually happens, right? It's dumping down, dumping down, dumping down. This is a green area, right? This is a support. So we were looking for the supports for entries. It's holding the support. It wicked out. It didn't go below this support. And this is where I entered basically, right? And then we've never really gone back. We went back down. We retested this new support that formed. Let's go back in time a little bit more just so we could witness the Bitcoin trade kind of unfold again. This support was actually there, excuse me. We already had this support formed up here, and we could use it as a reference. So this was what I was looking for. I was looking for like this or this, basically. I was looking for one of these two areas for entries. So you see it come down, right? It's breaking through the resistances, comes down to the support exactly, right? Of course, it's going to volume spike a little bit below. It's not going to touch it 100%. Usually when things are dumping, it doesn't touch it 100%, but it does happen, right? It's like here, you can see it, but it still always kind of goes under it a little bit. So it's not like you want to put a stop loss or something right on the line. It's not ideal. Retest it again. Comes back down, retest it again. And then this is where I enter right here. I enter right here, and then I look to add size once we break through here. That's kind of what I'm looking for on the retest, right? So we break through here, then we retest it, and this is where I entered. I added more size right here, like literally like perfect timing for me. But you know, we got in here, which is fine. You know, we got in here originally, then we added more size up here, and we were averaged out like right here in this middle area pretty much. And that's how I found the trade with PulseWave basically. And then we rocketed up here. I felt cool, calm, and collected on the hourly. I saw we came up here and I didn't do anything personally. I didn't flinch. My whole trade plan was the 4 hour this whole time. It was this red line for the 4 hour in the Discord. I laid it out as well. You could see inside the crypto section. Where is it? 99K personally. That's my goal, right? And after this, I'm looking for 92 in the short to midterm. So just FYI, that's where I'm looking next personally. But I think we'll push up to at least like 100, 102. But for me, I'm just going off my PulseWave levels. I don't need to be greedy. I could put something up here, and that's completely fine. But I don't need to, right? For me personally, I'm just trying to take my money, and this level is fine enough for me. This is a 500% trade that I got. I don't need to be too greedy with it. And a lot of people, they would let it run and just keep trying to be greedy, but I'm fine with that money. It's perfectly fine at the end of the day. And yeah. And if you guys want to trade and do stuff like that, you don't have to use BitGet. BitGet, you need ID verification and stuff. You could use Hyperliquid. I'm going to put a link down below, and that's where you could trade leverage. It's like up to 40x with Bitcoin, a bunch of other stuff. Really, really good. I personally use that for a lot of my trades, and I'm actually switching back to Hyperliquid. So I'll be doing a 10 to 100K challenge inside the Discord. So I'm doing $10,000 to $100,000 challenge using PulseWave, using Hyperliquid. So if you want to join in on that, definitely join the Discord. It's the best place to do it. But yeah, this trade was awesome. We'll watch it play out again. We'll just see how it goes up to the level. Quickly did it, but yeah, it's amazing. This is my plan the whole time. These drawings have been here too. And next, I think we're going to shoot for up here. And then I'm really looking for a retest of one of these levels again. I think we're going to come back down and sweep the lows. And I'm probably going to look to get long down here in this area, if not like slightly above here. But we will see. If we look on the 1 hour, we could see we have a couple other levels right here. This is a bit higher up, obviously. So I'm going to be watching all this stuff. And then on the 12 hour, we could come back down and you could see we have a level right here at 90. And I think this is a stronger level, like 99. And I think this is, or 9,900. I think this is a good one to be bidding for a retest, right? If you missed out on this and you're trying to get long again, I think this is like max bid area, right? And then we freaking rocket up to the moon ideally, you know, but who knows? I think that's kind of the rough game plan for what I'm doing at least, and that's what PulseWave is kind of telling me to do. If you guys have questions about it though, check it out. There's a video on the website. If you check out PulseWaveIndicator.com. This is the website. $39 right now. Price is probably going to go up in the future. I don't plan on doing monthly or anything like that, but just want to keep it simple. This will talk you through some more of the indicator stuff. There's more videos on this channel, but that's kind of a breakdown of the Bitcoin trade. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Comment them down below. Join the Discord. But this called it to the T, and very happy with it. So, yep. Let's make it a killer month. Let's make it a kill the rest of the year. You know, let's not give away the profits if you were in this trade, right? I'm being very conservative now. Let's make sure we make some money. Let's be responsible, and yeah, let's kick some ass. But thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.